He told me, if I marry you and if we, like, now we are married, that is, focus on the child. Focus on the child. Stick to one job. Then we see how life goes. I'll take care of all the bills. All you have to ensure is this house never lacks food. So I canceled all the other contracts I had. Nikabaki na one job. This same job, by the day he packed, it was on 10th October. The day he packed is the same day I got an email of termination.
Job yako pia?
I check my email and I get termination.
Greetings, Tuko family. My name is Dilesh and welcome to yet another episode of Tuko Talks. Today I'm in a space where I'm going to have a lot of baby fever because there's an adorable son here, and my guest today has so much to share when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriages, being a mother, being an entrepreneur, being employed, being a lady in this generation here today. There's so much that goes on, and there's so many things that we cannot be able to deal with until the 11th hour, and you're thinking, what happened? And for her, she's here to shed light, to tell her story, to be a lesson to you and to me, and also for us to be able to help her in any way possible, because at the end of the day, I always say, this platform is not for me, it's not for, it's for everybody. And yeah, without further ado, I'll just let Faith introduce herself and we can go with our story.
My name is Faith Agneta. I'm a realtor and a motivational speaker. I have a background in business management from my university and Bachelor of Commerce Finance, KCA University. Also wear a hat, by the way, of an entrepreneur at Indara ISAP. I'm a mother of 3. Yes.
With which body?
Yeah, mother of 3. Got my first baby at 23. Mm-hmm. I'm mentioning that because it's really been a main factor in my journey, my growth life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is it. I'm also a survivor of eczema. That's where a bit of the motivation comes from. Oh. Yeah, and also now currently with what's going on, I think it's more enough flesh to move forward with that journey. Yeah.
Right. I like that introduction, very profound. Now that we've known a bit about you and how you're actually very smart. You've done a lot of things in school, and it's all business. Math is not my cup of tea. So anyway, maybe we can just get to understand where you were before you got married, the space that you were in, so that then you got married, and then we can continue with your story.
Okay.
And at what age did you get married?
I got married, I can say officially I got married at 28. My initial baby was more of a cohabiting situation. The baby came in picture. Yeah, but before I got married in 2021, I was just a single mother taking care of my son and trying to just make ends meet. Yeah, and with the businesses, the side hustles, but mainly at that point I was focused with real estate and also serving in Sekimau Residents Association at that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then here's 2021.
Yeah.
How did you meet the man before you guys got married? Like, what was the relationship like before you jumped into 2021?
It was an interesting one. It was more of, where love is one-sided, but you do not realize it until it, like me, I realized around almost 4 years into the relationship. Yes, he was a friend, and before that, I was this girl who used to be like, if I'm to ever to date, it has to be headed somewhere. And for the first relationship, he came head on. He was more of, I met him at my space of work back then, my office in Dara ISAP, and he was so straightforward because he was like, hi, I'd like to date you. And I was like, okay, me, where I'm at, I'm just looking for money. So I'm not looking for games. And it's like, I'm also not looking for games. I was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. So me, that alone was like a click my end, because I always wanted to of course, every girl wants to get into a love story, but me, I was not the type to try out. I wanted someone who sees the future.
If you're doing it with the long
20, even if you're seeing 20 years to come, but let me have at least a snippet of that future. Don't just say, let's see how it goes. I'm not that type of girl. So that is how it was. But now, in between, the baby came in picture, and I think he just it didn't come well with him, because he was the guy who wanted to travel the world. He didn't want anything to tie him.
Responsibilities.
No. He was like, let's travel the world, then in future we'll be able to now settle down and get kids. So as much as there was marriage in the picture, but he wanted to travel. But the baby is here, So now that was the beginning of every trouble for that, because it was more of a push. I'm the one who would ask, when are we going home? When are we? What's happening? And then financially, at that time, he was a bit struggling, which was never an issue, by the way. It became an issue the 4th year when I stopped tolerating, because there's that part. My thought was tutagro pamoja. It's okay, tutaanza. It's okay, because me I was in a bit good space. Then later on, after delivering my son, actually we literally hawked tea together for like 7 months. Before I got the job that I got that time. And the same time I was doing business. So I was hawking tea, nikipata deal. I have supplies, I go change, I leave my son with someone, I run, do deliveries, get back change, take my son, continue hawking tea.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I'll not forget, that was beginning of 2018. So we did, when my son was 2 months until around 7 months. So that's when I was still...
2 months?
Yes, he was 2 months. There's a time by there we were called Tulitiwa Children Rights Office guy.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Saying that you're not being responsible?
Yes. And the guy came and we were like, I just was honest. Because, the lady was concerned. There were container spaces. So the lady used to sell liquor, and us, we used to rauka, then do. So for her, she's an old mama, and she'd see us rauka as early as even 4 to prepare tea, because we were targeting, in the morning used to be good business. The touts, do wameamka, matatus, like those people who are going, those kahawa, the tatramblers. So that's the time we'd make a lot of money. So we would just come with the baby, do all that when you're hawking from 4 a.m. to around, we rest around lunch hour, then we prepare for evening. So I used to get home around 10, 11. So the lady was just concerned. I get it. But at that point, we didn't have a choice. We had bills to pay and things were not adding up. And I just delivered. So even if I was to get a job, no one would hire me.
Exactly.
So at that point, the children right guy came. He wanted to arrest us. And me, I just honest. I asked him, if today I asked you for money, would you give me? He was like, okay, maybe today, but not tomorrow. If I asked you to invest in us, would you? He's like, I have my own stuff. Exactly. So I told him, I'm just a new mom, but one thing, I don't have experience, but one thing I know, there's no one who would ever want to hurt their child. So the guy was scared that time. I told him, no, relax, we're doing the best for our child. So let them come. So I told that guy, you know what? Us, if you want to arrest us, it's fine. But even when you're arresting us, who's going to take again of that child? So he sat down, he thought about it. And at the end of the day, he just kind of understood, talked to that lady. Then now, he was among the people who used to support us. Like, he would pass by every week. We even started cooking fries. So he'd buy some chipo and take tea and go. So that was his way of supporting us and just encouraging us. So through that is when I got a job. 7 months in. So now the stability came in. Now I was just supporting we didn't stop hawking tea. So it was just more like supporting this other one. But we had to move at some point. So now with that, getting the job thing was a bit of a struggle for him to adjust, because he was like, she's moving faster than me.
Yeah, that's a concern for men.
Yes, yes. But interestingly, you know, the way I was raised, never bruise a man's ego. So whenever I get my money, I consider it's his. But now when we were to move out of the previous house, because I was being given a house at work, so there's no need to keep paying rent here.
Yeah,
we moved together. Yeah, so that's when the problem emanated, because we had to clear rent for that. That house, we had an area for 1 month. No, 2 months. Yeah, then he was not able, because the months I was trying to adjust at work, we were not producing the same amount we were previously. So he was not making any effort to ensure that it's okay. But me, I'm like, anyway, you know, as women, when you're in love, misawa too. I'll try over and above. Yeah. So that point I went over and above.
It's them you're speaking like every word, but we're just like, it's okay.
I'm telling you, that's the worst thing to ever do, yeah? So I was like, it's okay. So I went over and above. My elder brother came through for me at that point, but he told me, please, put your house in order. May this be the last time. Let me bail you out of something else, but not this. Yeah. So he bailed me out when I was about to leave. When I'm going home to like Panga Vitu, I meet the guy has packed and has called literally Mkokoteni and is going elsewhere. I'm like, hey, what's up? I was like, tutaongea. So, because that time hakujua nimelipa the areas and I'll be able to.
We can now move.
Yeah, so anyway, I managed to sort, I moved to my workplace. So, you know, we have not like literally broken up. It's just his own decision and all that. Tutaongea. Yeah, so later on anyway, he kept coming. So our relationship was on and off. But yeah, yeye ndiye alikuwa baba mtoto, yeye ndio mzee, you know. So, and also having had a child out of wedlock, there's that part of, oh yeah, you know, now if I leave him or he leaves me, how will it look like? So it was a back and forth situation. Then years went by, opportunities came, he was a bit choosy. But that time I'm still like, you know, maybe I'm underestimate. Why are they paying him this little? It's okay. He'd be fine. I'm like, it's okay. He has potential.
Oh my God.
So I held on for so long until one day I sat down, because I was doing 3 jobs. Yes. Good. The only lucky part I had was, I call it luck because it's hard to get that, was all the jobs were performance based. So no one is more concerned of you being in the office 8 to 5, but have you performed that month? The target for the month, have you acted? The main meetings, have you shown up? So that made it a bit easier for me, but it was so overwhelming.
Of course, 3 jobs, even one is a lot.
It was so overwhelming, but it was paying bills. So one day I sat down and I was like, how much do I like literally earn in a month? It's a lot of money, but how much do I even spend to buy myself a pair of socks? Nothing. So I realized I had focused on him, and even my son, there is a part that I had neglected. It was just about us. Is he okay? And all that.
So that he can stay.
Yeah. So I figured out, I was like, I can't do that. So at some point I talked to him. When the on and off, he comes, goes away, he comes. So when he came, I was like, hey, now I think we need to sort this. He said, sawa. So I told him, I thought through, I think we can afford a better house, and I'm staying at my workplace. It's also not good because there's no privacy anymore. And also there are things I was going with him, and I felt like it would destroy my work. So I was like, hapana.
Tutoke hapa.
So he agreed. Tukaenda tukatafuta nyumba. I got an own compound. He liked it so much. We paid. So just before he signed the lease, because he was the one, the lease was to be under his name. You know, the ego, rubbing the ego part.
He's the man.
Yeah, they didn't end up kuchukua pick up. He had not signed the lease. Gari imekuja, we are packing in things. He's like, I think that's too much. We cannot afford. I'm like, excuse me?
Hello?
I've been affording a lifestyle a lot, and we're living in a small house. I feel like even if I'm not doing things for myself, at least let me just come back to a home that is beautiful. To me, that was like a thank you to me. Yeah, he's like, no, I'm not moving out. I was like, well, I removed some things, I packed. And by the way, you know, those small back and forth, at that time, iko ina matter, because I'm like, this guy at least, unajua women tunambiwanga, hata ukiandika Facebook, I see people saying about their cheating men, and they're told, does he come back home? As long as your man comes back home. Yeah. That's important.
That's so toxic.
So that's one of the toxicity in relationships and marriages, but we carry it along. So in my head, I'm like, hey, by the way, si amerudi home. It's important. It means hata kenda afanye nini nje,
anarudi
tu kwangu. So I'm the main chick. So chill. One day atasettle. By the way, before that I was told, someone told me, men when they get, the kid is born, they settle.
Which settling?
So yeah, kuja bado back and forth. All that was like, see, he'll come back. He's come back. Oh, thank God, he's here in the new house. That was it. So one day he made a joke and it was like, after COVID, actually COVID hit when he had gone to his parents. It was in February. But people were finding ways to get back either way to Nairobi.
Yeah.
Do you know him? He waited until almost November.
He's saying, siwezi kuja. County
zimefungwa ni kubaya. But you know, friends even traveling.
Yeah.
Even I had family members who are willing. They're like, you're happy. Because they don't know what goes on with our relationship. So they knew we are perfect. Don't worry. I can help you. Later. Yeah, kuje. They saw and so we can go pick him. He was like, no, haiwezekani. So I was like, okay. So when he came back in November, I was so happy. Prepared meal also. You know, the normal
My husband
woman.
is back.
Yes. Where days didn't Peter. Again, he just looked for a way to walk out. But I felt like he's been wanting to walk out, but he never had enough reason. So this time I took an evening walk with my son. Mvua ikatupata nje by the way, warned us. Tulinyesha. He got home. I found he started packing again. So I said, you know what? This time.
Please.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that. So I got into the room, locked myself. He got worried, called my parents, blah, blah, blah. Me, I was just like, I'm not picking any call. But that time I took a pen and a book and I started writing. I know benefit sounds bad, but the worthiness of having a man and not. And I realized the only worthiness I had was companionship. And the title of I have someone. And I was like, no.
The cons weigh the pros.
Yeah, so nikasema this one. You know, I'm always like the one, baby, Aki, don't go. Aki, I'm sorry. Whatever. I apologize, yet it's not my fault.
Oh my God.
So this time, imagine I didn't do a thing. So because it was raining heavily, couldn't go anywhere. The next morning, he literally woke up early, relaxing. I may just ask him, by the way, what time are you leaving? He looked at me like,
Faith.
What do you mean? Because I'm always the jelly one, but I think I was just tired. You know, 4 years back and forth, I was tired. And our child was, that time was 2 years or 3, almost turning 3. So I was like, He thought I'm joking. I was like, I'm going to work and I'm going with the baby. So what time are you leaving? And he's like, I'm waiting for some transport guy. Then what happens? How do I get the key? He kept wondering, what's happening to you?
This is not the Faith I know.
Yeah, so he thought it's a joke. So he said, okay, come then. Okay, then I'll just carry things. He knows if he puts the things outside the gate, I'll feel guilty and embarrassed because the neighbors will. Imagine I never felt a thing. I was
like, just go.
It's okay. Yeah, in my head I'm like, it's okay. So I told him I'll wait. So he put things outside. I told him, are you done? Yeah. Locked the door, took my son, and we went to work. And that day, I just felt like fuchs, and I knew I'm done. I was just like, I'm done. For the longest, I've been in this thing, but I'm the one who's been pushing things. So that's how my first relationship literally, yeah.
And your parents, at this time, what is your mom thinking? Because you said he called your mom at that point, but you are not picking up calls.
No, the biggest problem is also, we are told women, you're the ones who keep your family intact. Yeah?
You make a home.
You make a home. As a woman, don't say what is going on in your home. Hey, you're the one who can break or make. So me, all through in any other thing, you know, okay, some things I can say now, some words would better and some things unspoken, but I shut down all through. I never said a thing.
So nobody knew what you were going through?
Nobody knew. But him, interestingly, he's been telling my parents, she's been cheating on me. And the days he's saying that are the days I'm late. Remember, I was working 3 jobs.
3 jobs.
So there are times we used to have night meetings, and I would even invite him for the meetings. And those bosses were okay. They were like, it's okay, just come. So he comes, he waits me for a meeting, and we get done. So we come from a meeting, but him amembiawa and his parents, she's cheating on me, atajafika home. But he knows I'm at work. So after I heard everything that everyone was telling me, even the church, interestingly, They knew all these stories, and no one ever came and told me, even questioned me, Faith, why are you
What's
cheating on your husband
happening?
or
Yeah.
something like that. So after everything is breaking loose is when now everyone starts opening up. I was so broken because at that point I was like, I've been trying to cover up and ensure we are good. But all along, this guy has been spoiling my name. What that means is he has not seen future with me.
Yeah.
Because if someone you love, you cannot destroy their future. These words you cannot take back.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Even
the
if we
thing.
keep dating, there's no way. Your family will be looking at me like,
Ule wa kucheat.
ni ule msichana.
Oh no.
Anakula tu pesa ya kijana. They don't know the guy is jobless. They don't know the
You're
guy has no-
everything.
Yes. Yeah, menyamaza tu. When we go home to visit, we hire a car. Yeah, money inatoka wapi? Si pesa ni yetu. Yeah, pesa ni
Your
yetu.
money is my money.
Yes, this love is real. You know why? So when I later on is when I discovered everything. So I decided to open up to my parents. And my mom and my dad were so broken. But like, why didn't you tell her?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, if I can't tell my parents, then this marriage still continues. They'll never respect him. You
That's the
get?
thing.
So I want him to still have the ego and the respect. So I won't open up. But I think that was the worst mistake I ever did. And I just hope no one ever does that. Because the first sign, there's never changing.
Oh.
Yeah, when there is
Believe
always the
them.
back and forth, yeah, when they show you who they are,
Believe it.
believe them. Believe them. That statement is not a cliche. It's real. Yeah, so that's what happened. So in 2021, by then, by the way, my husband was a client at my workplace. He was a tenant and he was also on the process of buying a property there. Yeah, so there was nothing going on. He was just a client. Yeah, so now that's where the 2021 came in. Yes.
So you met him through your line of work.
Yes, yes. These, I think this story, maybe a lot of people have heard it, especially because of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I drive, I think you've seen it, the KZD, the old white car that's outside
okay.
there. Yeah, it's I love vintage. So one day I was leaving work and ikakata tu kuwaka.
Oh.
I was so frustrated. And he was cleaning his car. He was from work. He was cleaning his car. So he came by and he was like, no, I'm the one who walked to him and said, hi, how are you? Because there are these clients who never talk. So we expected to be always, hi.
Yeah.
You know, when you're managing properties.
You have to be smiling.
Yeah, so I was like, hi, how are you? Good. Okay, just wanted, are you enjoying the place and everything? How far is the mortgage process? Because he was buying a house. So I just chit-chat. Then he told me, is your car okay? I'm like, yeah, not really. But anyway, I think there's a problem. He came, checked it, and I said, I wish you were Uber. Like literally, I just request you drop me home. He said, why not? Come, I drop you home.
Wow.
I was like, what's the big deal? Me, I locked the car,
This spoiled car, stayed there.
let's go, yeah. So that was the journey of all that. And the same month, it was on 30th January, was his birthday. He proposed. Yeah, we went to elementary.
That's a short time.
A very short time.
Like literally, that's you open, close your eyes. I mean, close your eyes open and here we are.
But I don't know if you got a few minutes to check the previous stories we that were aired on the TV stations. But we kind of more dated at night than within the short period. Always in the evenings, we were together. So we were always having conversations from around 8, 9 usiku until 2 a.m. They were just purely conversations. So he seemed, that time he was so serious. He just wanted to settle down.
And that's also a picture you had. Because you also wanted.
Yes, me, I wanted someone who was straightforward. And the first meet up with my son, they clicked.
Oh, that's a ting.
Yeah, the second time he came to my house, he carried, was it milk for my son? Because my son really loved milk. So the previous day he came, I was telling my son he can't take more than 2 packets of milk. And for him to have come with milk the next day, then he was like, I realized you denied your son milk, so I've brought him more milk. That was a turn on. I was
You're just
like,
yes,
yes,
this is the guy.
Yeah, because his sensitivity was like, he just realized my son needed milk. It's something I didn't even remember.
Things,
The small thing that matters. I was like, wow, okay, I think this guy is really serious. So the conversation went by, and when he proposed, I was a bit shaken. But one thing I know about men, from my other experience and people's experience, when a man is decided,
it's what he wants.
It's what he wants. So yeah, why not? And why wait? I waited for 4 years. No one ever made that decision. So there was like, there's no perfect timing. I was like, it's okay. And for real, if I'm asked today, I don't regret, because I enjoyed the best at that point. I felt I got the genuine him at that point. Yeah, so that's how everything went. Then from that, there was COVID, there was lockdown.
Oh, the worst year.
Oh God. Do you know the family, in collaboration with him, they went over and above. Us, we had passes. My family, anyone related to us that was involved in our journey,
had a pass to move around.
Legally from the government, stamped. They went over and above. And my family was like,
this is the guy.
Yeah, and my parents at some point were like, no, we've seen you go through this. And if we had just an idea of what we went through, we don't want you to go through what you went through. I was like, no. Me also decided. And we were fasting. That's another turn on. The guy knew church. The day he proposed on a Saturday. On Sunday morning, he came to pick me and my son and took us to church and introduced me to the elders of the church and said, I've proposed. Where do I go next?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, honestly, there's no way I would have.
You can't say no, that's true.
Yes, so now all that was just flowing. We literally fasted. He was okay with fasting. We fasted in the months we were preparing for the wedding, before going home. Before I told my parents, we fasted. Before we go home, we fasted. Like, we literally focused on God than us. We did all that. And we had a lot of challenges on the way. But somehow, imagine within that period, February to May, we had done the first visit, dowry negotiation, traditional wedding. We did everything.
And at this point, Faith, you're not feeling like life is moving too fast?
It was moving crazy fast.
Yeah.
Crazy fast. And at some point, I was like, my God, what's happening? At the same time, I was like, it's okay. Because he was like, let me be real. If we wait any longer, I'll be tempted to want more from you, which is wrong. I want you to have a difference from all the other relationship you've ever had. I don't want to know what happened, but I just want to do it right. And he had gone, his life is a product like my son, for lack of a better word. Him in his family, he's my son, my first son in my family. You get? So he wanted to break that barrier. Yes, he wanted to do something for his future.
So now you decided you're doing this. You've 1 week.
Things are moving.
He's paid school fees.
Yeah, so it was really an interesting journey. And his family really impressed, because my biggest worry was, I'm coming in with a child. I remember the parents were like, what do you mean? We got married when there was a child, so why would we have a problem with you having a child? Yeah, as long as you're ready to move on, that's all that matters. Yeah, so that was it. By June 5th, we had a very, very intimate, beautiful wedding. It was not crowded. We would have loved either way to have, like, I come from Western. Sisi tunabebanga a whole bus. Yeah. But anyway, due to COVID, we had just a small, intimate wedding. And that was it. And
was it your dream wedding?
My dream wedding was to have 70 Gs. It's that crazy. Walk on flowers. But anyway, it was totally what I didn't. It's not more of my dream wedding, but I would not trade it for any other thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
That was a beautiful one.
It was a beautiful wedding. It just had family and the very close people to us. Yeah, so it was very, very beautiful wedding. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
so
June.
That's June, yes. So we took a honeymoon, we came back. And I think, no, I can't say it was an issue, but our wedding was really, it had a lot of fights in between.
Oh.
Yeah, but the beauty was that both of us, our mind was decided.
This is what we want.
Sisi ndio tunataka hii, and we're ready to settle down. So nothing was going to stop us. Yeah, so immediately after our honeymoon, my baby hubby got sick. We started going for scanning.
Oh, no.
Tunatumwa wapi, unaenda huku. It was crazy. So I had to be there with him, driving around. But that time we didn't know we were expectant. So I think in the middle of all the stress, Nami he has to go through a session, he has to do this. It was so crazy. So in the middle of all that, we were not focused on, we just thought probably it's fatigue, we are stressed. Yeah, but in the process of that, we realized you're pregnant in July, and the same July we lost the pregnancy. Yeah, so grieving, I think, is different for everyone. Yeah, because he was okay. At least that's what I saw. He was by my side. I was on bed rest. He was okay. At some point, it used to bother me, and I remember his doctor telling him that it's okay to just toa hiyo kofia ya amani and just be human.
Feel the emotions.
Feel the emotions, because at some point you'll really break down. And I was like, no, I'm okay. And at some point I felt, but I talked to a few people that are like, it's okay, don't overthink. Men are different. So at some point, he'll just mourn at his own way. So this particular, and I just got to work in October, because now I couldn't go to work.
You're on bed rest.
Yeah, actually I was supposed to take 3 months because the procedure, the baby particle had remained in my tummy, in the womb. So the procedure is more like, it's like umeza. Oh. So it's the same way a mother kiza 3 months.
3 months time.
Yeah, but I couldn't take 3 months because you see I'm employed. As much
and
as
you
I
don't
had
have the baby, so they are thinking,
yeah, what's the big deal? But they were gracious enough to give me at least 2 months.
That's nice.
Yeah. So when I got back to work, the very first week, that's when actually we realized that, you know, everything has just been too much. You know, we're ingesting it in. And I think for him now it started overwhelming in a way. It hit him, especially to do with loss of child. Then there's him, he had, you know, the background of his upbringing and all that. So I think he was just trying to revisit his past, and it didn't come out well. So he calls me at work and he's like, hey, babe, he's breaking down. Oh, no. So I'm like, what's happening? Hi. I got so stressed out. And since it was on 5th, I'll not forget, 5th October, I told him, because that's the time I pay salaries, ensure all the reconciliations are done. So I told him, you know what, I'm sorry, I cannot come, but I'll come home early. Because he had not been at work. For some reason, his parents were his bosses. So they had literally stopped him from work for a while. And so he was at home. He was on unpaid leave. So I went home early that day. I didn't find him home. I was not really bothered because, you know, he's a man of principles. He's shown. So I was not like stressed out. So I had my shugulis, prepared dinner, freshened up, and just waited for him. Hey, Saa 4, he's not home. Saa 5, he's not home. So, and it was almost like Sasita, I called him. I'm like, hey, babe. Uko, are you okay? He told me, don't worry, I'm almost home. True to his word, he was almost home. So I got home. He didn't talk. He just said he wants to rest. So I may let him rest because, you know, probably he's going through stuff I don't know. So siwezi anza kumquestion. So I was like, it's okay. Moreover, the next day was my cousin's wedding. So nikasema, ni sawa, tutaongea tu kesho. Tomorrow we are hanging out the entire day.
The whole time.
Yeah, so it's fine. In the morning he was like, we're not going. I'm like, what do you mean, babe? This same cousin has been there for us.
Throughout.
Literally. And even before I met him, that's one of my paternal cousins who, you know, they show up in the house with a boot full of shopping.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of
The
person.
cousins we love.
Yeah, so there's no way.
You're not going.
I'm not going to that wedding. So I was like, what do you mean? He told me, you have to apologize to my mom. And I'm like, okay, what did I do?
Wait, why?
Yeah, what did I do? He said, you missed my mom's call at some point and you have to apologize. So I said,
Oh.
yeah, it's really sad by the way, but I think it's high time I just say it. So I was like, eh. And I think words have power, because he said, if you don't apologize, then you have to choose between this marriage or my mom. Whether you know it was funny,
because
like,
it's just a phone call.
Yeah, I was like, you know, naturally, you know the way like you called me yesterday, I called you back, right? I was like, hey, sorry, I was unable to pick up. That's exactly what I did. And it was something that happened before. It was like a month or so. See phone call ya recent.
Oh, si ati phone call ya jana?
Yeah, so nikamuuliza,
no.
Is there something more? Or akaniambia, no, you have to apologize to my mom. I don't want to know details, but you have to apologize to my mom. I said, it's fine. Let's go to this wedding. Tutatoka mapema. 20, because they're just not far. Akakata. So I left him home with the nanny, and me, I went with my son to the wedding. So that was the beginning of, until then, by the way, we were okay.
Until?
Yeah, we were perfectly fine. Because there was this issue of, you know, when they gave him unpaid salary, we were trying to, try to just go back to the drawing board and like, okay, imagine if your bosses were not your parents, would you have a right to question some things? Of course, yes.
Of course.
But now you can't, right?
Because they're your parents.
And also he was so terrified. So I think the best thing, because this will happen today and might happen again. You'll get back to work and it might happen again. Even his car was taken.
Oh.
Yeah. Because, I don't know, it was on loan. I think the mom was the guarantor. Oh. So, yeah. So, see, of course, he's not getting salary.
So he can't pay the loan.
So the car was taken by the mom. So I told him, it's okay, because me, I had a car, my old day. I was like, it's fine, babe. What you can do.
This.
Yeah, and also him, you know, he's been raised differently. Me, I come from a humble background where some things don't matter. Me, hata nikipanda mata, haitani bother. But him, he's from, and I don't blame him. You know how we raise the kids.
Yeah.
Ashakuwa. And it's okay for him to have that level. Yeah. So I told him, I advised him, it's fine. Let's go back to the drawing board. You have specialized in this, yes. So let's get it done. Look for job applications, blah, 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 which he did. And which, by the way, he got another job that it was to be more of an attachment. Then they'll give him some allowance for the period. Then after that, this is a company that gets international jobs. So, of course, if he was to perform, he would get a better deal. Yeah. So, he was at a better space at that point. So, we agreed, let's do this. And I told him, we are married. So, my car is yours. If you're not okay with this car, because, of course, he cannot be okay with it. It's an oldie. You know, there's that...
He's used to some type of...
Yeah, he was driving a German machine. So, I was like, so what we do, we sell mine. Then we top up from our savings or whatever money we make. We buy a better car of your choice. And we were like, okay, we're on the same page. So that's he's this strategized guy that used to, every Sunday we used to have a meeting in the house. Like, babe, we need to talk before the week starts. We need to talk. We had a book, we'd write next week's goal, what we've discussed. So our last discussion actually was on Sunday previously, was that financially sell the car, get a buyer, buy a new one, then you start this attachment, whatever job, then you see, then now because you're starting somewhere, you have to give notice at your workplace. Yeah, as much as your parents, this is what has to happen. Yeah, so that's what happened. And unfortunately, that evening, actually, when I didn't find him home, he had gone kwao. And I don't know what really happened. because that was the turnaround for everything until where we are at now. He went to his parents' place on 7th, was there for a few days until 10th. So on 10th, my landlord calls me, but I never had his number. Because my husband was responsible.
He was the guy, he was the man.
He looked, ni wale anatafuta hao, anakwambia, I have a surprise for you, go check the house. Do you like it? If you don't like it, we look for something else. If you say, like, I remember my concern was like, are you able to afford? Because, yeah, me, I could afford that when I was alone. But now you see, you're taking us, the school fees is a whole, and he's like, no, don't worry. I got this. You just tell me, do you like or not? Yeah, so of course I never had the landlord's number. So he calls and introduces himself. Hi, I'm so and so. I was wondering, are you also moving out? I'm like, to where? And who are you, Kwanza? Because I still didn't believe. He's like, yeah, I've been told by your husband he's moving out, and he's asked me if you're moving out.
So it's the landlord who's giving you the news.
So nikajiambia, so I just told him, I don't understand what you're saying. Let's do this. My husband has not been around, but I'm so sure he'll be back home this weekend. Can you give me till Monday?
I'll get back to you. So a few minutes later, my husband calls like, hi, how are you? Are you home? I'm like, yeah, I'm home. It was on a Saturday. So I didn't go to work because I couldn't focus anymore. I was just depressed. I didn't understand. I just wanted to understand what's going on. And moreover, I was worried about him. Because the last time, remember, I had a conversation with him. He was breaking down on phone. Then all the other things followed. So there was no resolution in all that. I ended up with the parents. So he tells me, are you home? I'm like, yeah, I didn't go to work. It's okay. I'm coming around afternoon. Please don't leave. I was so happy. I went in, showered, looked my best. I was like, thank God. I'm like, the only way we are told women, you know your weak point of your husband, blah, blah, blah. But most importantly, even during the marriage counseling before the wedding, women were told one of the major attributes as a wife, never forget to look good. The same way you wear lipstick and get out, when home, do it once in a while. So I did my best, and I was smelling so fresh and ready. And he gets in, he's not even focused on me. For a start, he came with his car, he was driving his car. Remember, he didn't have his car. So he came in driving his car, followed by a pickup, and followed by 2 men. They get inside the house. So that time I don't understand. I'm like, hi babe, blah, blah, blah. Nothing, not even a hug. His focus is apparently that time was not on me. He just told me, I'm sorry, I feel this won't work. What won't work? Is there a problem? You'll understand one day. One day?
So maybe they all through. It was, in my head, it's a joke.
From the landlord to this?
It's a joke because it's true what the landlord told me. So I started picking specific things he wanted from the house, specific things. Then I remember the only time he talked to me was like, can you help me pack what I need in the kitchen? I told him, just take whatever you want. If you want to take everything, take. Just take whatever you want. Because he was already deciding, not to 2 men. This is a guy who is a HR to one of the powerful security firms in Kenya. You never know, these guys could be security. They can do whatever they want. So I cannot even fight it. So I just sat down. My son was home. And I remember him asking, Daddy, what's happening? Because that's the only dad he remembers. And he knows.
Yeah.
So it's like, Daddy, what's happening? And Daddy's like, it's okay. Because of course,
you can't tell him I'm going.
Yeah. It's okay. But he's like, Daddy, you're leaving with your things. He went to a toy car. And he told his dad, Daddy, please go with this. If you don't want to go with me, go with this toy.
That's so painful.
Yeah, it was bad. He took it. I saw he was affected. I could tell he didn't want to do whatever he was doing. But, however, he did it. He picked that toy car, told the baby thank you, put in his car and continued packing and left. So
God, I'm still at the point where This child is innocently just saying, if you don't want to go with me, just take this. This is a reminder of, oh my God.
Yeah.
How are you feeling at that point, seeing your child? Oh.
No, that was clearly dawning, because
Yeah.
it's like, first, nilijiuliza tu, did I do a mistake to get him in my life? Because
And
the
bring him to
love
your
and
son,
everything.
yeah.
You know, my son loved him. At some point, I felt he loved him more than I do. But our best couples explained to me and told me, it's okay, because he never had a father figure. So, and he's gotten someone who is embracing him, treating him like a son.
Very present.
Very present. Yani akisikianga tu daddy kwa gate, he would run. So you don't let him just have his time with his father, unless you have another problem. So at some point they were very close, more than me. The attachment was more on him than me. And I remember a friend told me, Faith, I feel like you're disconnecting from your son. I'm like, why? When is the last time you spent time with him? I'm like, understand, but he wants to spend time with his dad. You know, so to me it was not a big deal. Yeah, so that was it, and it was very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Painful.
Yeah,
That's
and
very
it took very long for it to hit, reality to hit, because on and off he kept coming. He would like, hi, can I take you out for dinner? We talk. But remember, he's not staying with us.
So you're still in that house, the landlord asked you if you're leaving?
Yeah, so on Monday, by the way, the landlord called, ulisema utaniambia, nikamwambia, yeah.
Well,
But please give me a week. Because you see, immediately I got married to him, he told me, you don't have to strain 3 jobs. Why? Then I used to do a lot of digital marketing for people. So the digital marketing, I used to do it at night. I used to sleep around 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, that was before I met him. So of course I'm married. I can't be on my computer the entire night. So now I had, and he told me, if I marry you and if we now we are married, that is, focus on the child. Focus on the child. Stick to one job. Then we see how life goes. I'll take care of all the bills. All you have to ensure is this house never lacks food. Which, if we look, my salary was enough to take care of food and the nanny. So I was like, it's okay. So food and the nanny. So, and we're just married. So you're not anticipating issues. So I canceled all the other contracts I had. Nikabaki na one job. This same job, by the day he packed, it was on 10th October. The day he packed is the same day I got an email of termination. Yes. Exact day. Yani anatoka tu hivi.
Job yako pia?
I check my email and I get termination.
Grounds of termination?
And
you don't know?
Yeah.
You are a good employee.
I was there for years. If I was a bad one, I wouldn't be there.
You're right.
I was on several leave days. Remember, our wedding was preparation was between February and June. There was traveling, logistics, there was all those leave days. I still was given a week before my wedding, and I was given a week after my wedding. I had a lot of leave days. Remember, when he was sick, I was not at work. They understood. When I lost my child immediately after he was sick, they gave me 2 months leave, and they paid me. So if I was a bad person, they would have fired me.
Yeah, because they'd be like, there's too much time you've been outside.
Yeah, because that's 1 year I had lost. Actually, I was given, the email was saying I start my terminal leave immediately. So if there was an issue, they wouldn't have waited. Why pay? And actually on our wedding, they are one of the philanthropic people who literally gave, it was more like my salary in an envelope. At some point I thought I won't be paid, but that was just a gift.
Just a gift.
Yes. So if I was a bad person, would they go beyond? My boss, my own boss, was on my wedding from beginning to the end. He gave a speech. He was there. He was there all through. So if there was literally an issue, I would have been fired a long time ago. Yes. So that's how my relationship with my employer was very good. They're the type who would come on a Sunday and, Faith, Tuko, where's your son? And they come with the kids. It was that type of relationship because they saw me when And they are the one who picked me from hawking tea and gave me an office as a manager. So, of course, the relationship was okay. Yeah, so that's what happened. And he kept coming on and off. Hey, can I take you for dinner? We talk. Of course, he's my man. Whatever the issue.
Love.
And in my head, I'm like, he must be going through something. Maybe in the breakdown, yenye nilikuwa nataka kwenda when we lost a child, and it's happening now. Maybe he needs his space. So I had a lot of thoughts. So I would go for those dinners. We have spend the night. He rauka. Venye klande wanaraukanga
6.
He would rauka and he would tell me, of course, anyway, he was going to work. He resumed work where he was, and he has to go to work. But the first, second, third happening, now the fourth, I was like, so it bothered me. I was like, apana. Then I was still healing because the procedure I had to like take 3 months, then review. Then now we are given an okay for on the other, including the conjugal rights. But it's saying in any, we're saying love. So as life was moving on, at some point, even within the healing period, yeah. So at some point, I was like, hey, I can't do this anymore because what if this guy is sleeping around?
You need to be careful.
If I get an infection, that's worse because my womb is healing.
Yeah.
So now I stopped. The night I stopped is the night he stopped coming on and off. Yeah, so that's how it just, we've tried.
Drifted.
Yeah, we've tried. Our best couples were supportive. They've been through. I feel like actually this child is their child. Because the day I discovered I was pregnant, they looked at each other, laughed, and they told us, we sensed it. And they told me, you know what, it's okay. So what do you need? I'm like, you guys are not serious. Like, there's no marriage, but I have a kid. I told me, it's fine. We'll figure that out when the baby's born. Now let's focus on your health. And they were so legit. Like all my hospital, not all, but major visits of my hospital, they took care of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and now my doctor, I call her my doctor because she's literally embraced me and my sons, was their doctor. And it was through them. Yeah, so whenever they're like, umelemewa sana and you don't have money, call our doctor. And that doctor has literally taken charge. And Bianga, okay, how much do you have? Okay, does consultation, directs us to the right place, or there's a way she just ensures the hospital has taken care of stuff. So it was overwhelming, of course, because some medication and some tests, of course, are easy. But where she could,
she did it.
She did it, yeah. So she just encouraged me on physical exercise and all that. So the journey was just crazy, but I had support system. But it took me a long time to snap out of it. I was like, these are matrimonial homes. Atarudi too.
So you still stayed in that house?
Yes. Sasa naenda wapi? Sina job. My job, they didn't pay me for the terminal leave. And the month that they were to terminate me, I was now done. After handover, I was not paid for 2 months.
And so the house you guys were in, you had bought it? You were not renting?
No, we were renting.
So where were you getting rent money from?
So initially, okay, I was saving. And I was intending to do B&B for, my parents do a lot of rental. So I had a conversation with my dad. The last day after the pre-wedding, now we were coming for the wedding, I told my dad, you know what, don't worry. Now I have enough money to save. Tutafanya B&B. My dad is a very close friend of mine. So my dad was like, easy. My dad was relaxed. I could rent that house. I told him, we'll start with this. I even identified the house. We're doing B&B. So I had started saving.
For that.
So now that is what had to come. It was a fixed account. I remember even the last time I withdrew consecutively until there's a day I went to Mlolongo. It was the nearby that time because I couldn't afford money to go to town. And I went to withdraw. They called the manager for that branch.
Like, oh, you?
Yeah, just wait. The manager wants to see you. And she comes and she tells me, first of all, are you okay? You've been our client for a very long time. But lately, the rate at which you're withdrawing.
And it's a fixed account.
It's supposed to be, if you withdraw today after 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
But we've given you those, you've given reasons. She said, how sure am I you're not going to come here tomorrow? Are you sure this money is enough?
What?
Yeah. So at that point is when also reality comes up when he hit. Hey, by the way, I need to do some things are thick. But now I'm already in the mess and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to seek help. Already he had created a notion, because me, you know, I carried the woman, keep your secrets to your family thing from back then. Yeah, party kuisha. Because I was like, if I held a secret for someone who never crowned me, this guy did all the right things. Why would I start embarrassing him? No, honey will be back home. So I never even spoke to my parents about a lot of stuff. So, but at this point now, I decided to talk. Yeah, I talked. It really messed my parents because now pressure was high, medication. It was a whole turmoil.
Oh, no.
Our family is one of peace. We were so broken because now my brother, my sister, it's just argument, right, left, and center. I feel they're insensitive. Then they're like, why didn't you say earlier? I'm like, why don't you understand? It was a whole mess. But slowly by slowly, they held my hand. They even accepted to take a loan so that I try figure out things. But by the time the loan was coming, hey, the landlord was already in the process of throwing us out.
What?
Yeah, so it was bad, very bad. So I stopped my son's school. No, that time I didn't stop. The school understood. They're like, we're trying to call baba mtoto, hashiki simu, kuna shida. Is he okay? I'm like, keep trying calling. Jifunga huko. Keep trying calling. So ikafika mahali they were like, wewe sasa, you're the one who brought this child to school. His father has been paying, but sasa wewe, you have to take care of this. Otherwise your son won't be picked. So I tried for a while. It was crazy. Trying to balance. Pesa napata tu kidogo, narusha huko. Natumia loan nashanga. Hii loan was supposed to help you move to a smaller house, do stuff. I'm like, my son first. But you know, now you're confused on priorities. Yeah, my son had gone through a lot of psychological trauma when he was young. Then again, now when he's bigger. So I was like, I'm not going to mess that again. So that was it. So now that was the beginning of everything. Yeah, I had lost everything on 10th October, but I snapped out of it January 2022, this year. That's when I snapped out of it. I was like, whoa.
This is my reality now.
Yeah, because also, nikienda usi every time I'm admitted in, I'm told your pressure is high. Pressure is high. So one day the doctor just told me, whatever you're going through,
you need to put it aside.
Ensure you deliver safely. Mtoto afike to term, because now we don't know what the cause of the initial wherever was. So this one we have to really monitor. And the way pressure inaenda, it's not just even the child, it's your own health. So yeah, so I tried to focus on the child. And just when I was just trying to, that's January. February, the family calls us. Yeah, come, we talk. And sisi ni nani, because we want to know the root cause.
Yeah, because things just turned.
Yeah. So sisi, you know, the other way around actually, it's them who are supposed to come to my family. Sisi ni nani, we took Uber, we went. Getting there, they just didn't want to focus on the issue. They just wanted to know way forward. One, if we are married or not, and two, now that's me and him to say, and two, the way forward for the children. And my parents were just concerned. What do you mean? And I remember by then I'll never forget. You know where my dad and mom literally cried.
Oh no.
My mom, I think, was broken because the husband, you know, men don't cry. So when my mom saw my dad crying
like, this
in
is
front
bad.
of the parents and the guy.
And even you.
That was messed up. It was, of course, out of respect. I had to wait. But if it was on a normal, sober note, if I was the Akode in an individual, I think that house would be messy. Well, it's just like, it's okay. So I left there and yeah, it's been just roller coaster ever since. Of course, currently he really wants to make things up, but it's a messed up state.
Where is your mindset at this point? Because you're saying currently he's trying to make things up. Are you decided that I'm not doing this, I'm done with this? Or are you still in love with him saying, okay, love, it will never fade. That's the thing about love. But your headspace, where is it? Is it telling you I'm done with this, I need to move on? Or maybe we can just try and see.
You know, the sad part is this was never about me alone. It's costed a lot. my mom was supposed to go for surgery weeks ago. She's been acting strong. I know she's acting strong for me. But it all started on pressure, stuff. Any imekuwa crazy for them. It didn't come well with them because they don't understand the problem.
What happened?
You know, ile hata wangesema tu they found faith doing this. Like, then they just want a reason. And understand where they're at. It's costed my relationship with my siblings. And I remember my sister. Sayata, if people like my sister, even the church, if today I just wake up and say, we are married again, trust you me, it must have gone through all those people. Because those people have been there, they've tried to stand in the gap, and nothing has been done. Instead, they've been blocked. And I remember his mom told me to move on. Himself at some point told me to move on. He has someone. So even if he comes now and tells me he loves me,
it doesn't.
Am I a rehabilitating place or something? So I can't give a definite answer because this is a whole community problem. Like, he has to deal with the rest of the people before he comes to me. Yeah. So I'm not going to be like, yes or no. Here, it's not an issue of love. But your love iliisha. So here we are on real issues. And that's where people go wrong. Relationships and marriages, there is beyond the feeling. When real issues show up, how do you handle it? He might have had genuine reason. Probably he was going through family issues. But you see, for you to pack from your own matrimonial home because of the family, and for you to humiliate your own woman because of your family, then one day you realize it's wrong. Well, it's okay, it's allowed. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah.
But the same energy he ensured to make it right and married me right, then he should use the same energy
to maintain it.
Yeah. But not to start with me. He needs to start with the rest of the community. Maybe I should be the last person to be dealt with. Yeah, so that's literally it. But it's been one traumatizing moment. Sometimes I don't know what to tell my son. I don't know what to tell my parents. And now sometimes that time my mom, there's a day she told me, I'm sorry. Because the first question I was asked, what did you do? Which is okay. Because he showed all the responsibility.
He was the good man by the book.
Yeah, so there's a time my mom was like, I'm sorry, I think you're going through something that I cannot help you, but I'm really, really sorry. Yeah, so that's how the loss process has been.
That's a lot.
So the kiddo had to stop school. I had to look for a smaller house. I had to... I'm at a space, I was at a space, I am better because I've been trying to do 1, 2, 3, getting back. I got two clients from my way back, digital marketing. Of course, they can't embrace me easily because niliamka tu and I was like, I'm done.
I have a life now.
I have a life now. I want to terminate the contract. I don't even pay me for this month. It's okay. I know we had a contract. I have to give notice. It's okay. But of course, it's not enough money. But at least I'm able to
There's something
to neza buy credo. I can buy my own sanitary towel. Those basic stuff. Because 2 months ago, at a 5 bob, even if my son wanted bread, I could not buy. Ilifika mahali alikuwa too understanding because like, oh God, this is not fair. He would tell me, Mommy, if I go to school, I'll eat.
Oh no.
So it's okay. I can just take water, then I'll go to school.
That's so painful.
Yeah. Sahi, I'm willing to say it because I feel like I'm at a space of healing, and you guys featured the story the right time.
Yeah.
If it would have been featured earlier, I don't think even I would be able to talk. Yeah. So that's just...
That's a lot, Faith.
That kid is crazy. The other day I was on phone with Jackson, and he overheard. The kid was like, Mommy, I'm tired. Come look at the baby. I'm tired. Yeah, because he's like, then later on after the call I asked him, okay, I'm so sorry. I can remember, Mommy, sometimes when I leave from school, I see you with baby and cooking. I help, but sometimes I'm tired.
Oh yeah.
I just look at him. I'm like, oh yeah, what am I putting him through? So it's crazy.
You were saying you ask other children.
Yeah, I keep asking people, other children when I go for the mentorship programs, how does whatever you're telling me make you feel? And they tell me. So lately, it's more of my own home. Now I have to, he's so young, but at the same time,
he's
too sharp. So I have to constantly tell him, I'm sorry, baby, how does this make you feel? He says, it makes me feel bad, but at the same time, I need to help you, mommy, you know.
No.
So it's crazy. When I pick him late from whatever activity he's in, he asks me, where is baby? I'm like, he's in the house. Why didn't you pick me early so that I see baby and help you? I'm like, okay. So he's forced to grow so fast.
He's supposed to be a father, a big brother, your partner, because he's telling you I want to help you.
Yes. And he asked me by the way on Saturday, Mommy, why have you not washed the baby?
Yeah. We're like,
I have an accountability partner. Because it's like, Mommy, I've showered, you've showered. Why have you not washed the baby? I told him, because I want him to sleep well at night, so I'll wash him at night. I was like, oh, okay. I thought you don't want to wash the baby. Now he's asking, yeah, so it's been interesting, but also I feel like we've bonded so much. He's one person, like, he's got mommy's back.
Kabisa.
But my prayer is I can be able to pick up and just let him be a child. Let him be a child. Be able to just maneuver. Because sometimes it's not like I'm all over doing stuff. And he sees. And he's like, Mommy, let me help. Mommy, let me help. When I say I don't have money, he's like, no. Oh, you don't have money? Okay, when you get money. Oh, you don't have
he understands.
Yeah, he understands. Yeah, but where we are at, it's just that. But maybe that's the main reason I am doing the Look Beyond program. Because I've been, for a start, I've been volunteering for 5 years. It was purely volunteering. And I've not stopped the realtor thing. I'm still selling houses, advertising houses. But now the mentorship program has been in my heart because I feel like there are issues of emotions people go through and it affects a lot of people. There is issue of upbringing. And imagine if, for example, us, we were raised in a generation where parents were present. Currently, a lot of parents are really trying, it's hand to mouth. They're really working hard and struggling. So how much attention
can you give your child?
So there has to be someone in the society who is bridging in the gap. And I would never want anyone's daughter to go through what I've gone through. Yeah, I would never want anyone's son to go through what my husband has gone through. Because, yeah, it's an excuse we give for people, but I am convinced, basing on the conversations we've had, I'm convinced that 99% of his trouble is based on his past. And we just need to teach our kids how
deal with that.
To deal with that. And secondly, we need to ensure that our kids are in a safe space. Even if it's not you, let them vent somewhere, let them grow. So that if we come out and we're overwhelmed, then it gets to the wrong person. Because look at the impact it's caused to an innocent family. Everyone is now affected. A lot of people didn't believe when I call and say, Lily, nisaidia na swatano. Okay, nisaidia tu watana so. People think I'm mocking them.
Because you are this person. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's not even based on who you married, but before you got married, who you are. So people thought I'm joking, I'm mocking them, but for real I didn't have. And a number of people would inbox me, hi, nisaidia kutafuta job. Hi, there's this, my son didn't eat. And imagine when even nikiwa na 50, because I know I'm in the same situation. Yeah, so I'd be like, let's share this 50 bob. So I'd be like, is there a place you can get mboga or something? Do this. But they never knew we are sharing because they don't believe I could be struggling. Yeah. So, and the fact that I've been able to maneuver through the little input everyone has put in my life, I was never given a lot of handoff. I appreciate the people in my life. They came when I needed it. Of course, I needed it the entire period, but they gave me room to just come to reality, to snap out of it, and to decide. what next? What do you want? They never decided for me. So even my decision now, where I'm saying it's a whole community decision.
It's literally a whole community.
Yes, it's literally a whole community. So those and if I was not an informed individual, where would I have been? Probably in Koinange or doing worse. Yeah. So I really want the next generation to really be informed, and I want to be that gap. So that's where I'm headed. And by the way, I'm still the hopeless romantic type of person.
So as I was going to ask you, are you still hopeful for this? May not have worked. Number 1 didn't work. Number 2 didn't work. Number 3, it's the charm.
Yeah, if it ever comes up, whether it's still him or someone else, I'm open. But currently, I just want to focus on my children, take care of them, ensure first I get back on my feet. Then, yeah, but I'm open. I'm open for a romantic and whatever future. I'm open to that. That's more reason there's a segment called The Heroes. We started with my husband. It's still ongoing. We hold the conversations on marriages and the love stories that work. Yeah, so they still
it still exists.
Yes.
I love that. Man, Faith, this has been such a, your story is very beautiful because it's painful. It's very painful, but it's also very beautiful because there's so many lessons to it. There are so many things that you've gone through that literally so many people out here are going through, but don't talk about it. They do like what you're saying. The woman should keep the home. Shh, usiongeleze maneno. Shh, wasijue. But I really hope that the programs and the foundations that you're starting will be such an eye-opener to so many people that they are aware that if there's a problem, the problem needs to be dealt with. Don't keep it to yourself, because at the end of it all, it will blow and to become something completely different and worse.
Yeah, and for relationships, one thing I've learned from my previous and this is whenever there is an issue that's repeating itself, please don't take it for granted. And this issue of women that atabadilika things will get better, they never get better. So guys, if something is repeating itself, solve it. Because the moment you think, acha tu akuje tutasort, he loves me, but you're not getting to the problem, it will just eat you eventually. It will eat you eventually.
As we said, when someone shows you who they are the first time, the second time, please
believe them.
Believe them.
Believe them.
Believe them.
Yeah.
I'm so glad, and I really do hope you get back on your feet. And I think you're a very, first of all, I love that you have, you're open. Your mind is very open to the street world, to the book world. So I know with time you'll get back to your feet. And these children will get their best lives. And I really pray that for you. So the lesson, man, this has actually been, I think, a session for me to learn so much. Before I get married, before I get my children, inshallah, I know the things that I should do. Maybe as we conclude, you can just let us know how people can reach you. That is your camera.
Yeah, I'm available on all the social media platforms, Faith Agneta. Yeah, you'll see this first. I'm very active also on LinkedIn, the professional network, as Faith Agneta, Realtor and Motivational Speaker. I don't know if, some pseudo accounts will occur, but I do a number of live sessions. So a page that doesn't have live session, definitely that's not me. Yeah, and my phone number also is 0715-419-553 for those who are in school and any youth segment, because my target market is between 10-year-olds and 29-year-olds. We can guide you through, and I know a number of people are going through stuff, and therapy might not work. You need a practical example of how this so-and-so maneuver. So even as I'm on a journey to write my own books, I pray that I'm able to still tap into your lives as I soldier on. Yeah.
I pray that for you too. Thank you so much, Faith, for opening up, for being very open, being honest with everything. We appreciate you. We don't take it for granted, and we do pray. I personally, as Lily and I know so many of our Tuko family here, pray that things will get better for you.
Amen.
And they really shall.
Amen.
Because you're a strong believer of God, and I'm always advocating for God, because at the end of the day, there's nothing else that can be able to hold you strong if it's not God.
Amen.
So I just pray everything will get better for you. You'll get back on your feet, and our baby boys will have the best of it, because your son is so adorable. I wish I could have said the first one, because I think I'd have now gotten baby fever times 20.
And thank you too for shining a light Yeah, what you do is not easy. It's a lot of emotional journey. Yeah, so thank you for taking that initiative.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that has been our episode of Tuko Talks. So many lessons that we have learned. We appreciate Faith so much. And of course, as she has mentioned, you can always reach her through her social media platforms and the number that we are going to put on our description. You can reach to her, talk to her. You know, anything that you need to give her in any way, any support, she's ready to receive, and she's ready to also give you the support. So thank you very much, guys, for being with us throughout this whole episode of Tuko Talks. My name is Lilesh, and until next time, remember to subscribe and do share your stories if you have anything that you want us to shed light on. Our email addresses are provided here below, so kindly reach out to us, and we are here for you like you're here for us. So until next time, thank you very much. Goodbye.